What's up, my friends? John Baruti. Baruti Success. This week, we're talking about how we bought our ice cream store. Stay tuned. So you want to know how we bought an ice cream store? Well, I'm not going to tell you. What? That's right. You need to subscribe, ring the bell, help me out here. Do it. Do it. Sorry. Subscribe. And then I'll tell you. All right, I'm going to tell you anyway, but I'd like for you to subscribe. Okay? Here we go. The year was 2003. Way back. I was single, getting a divorce. Okay, we're not going to go into personal stuff, but that's what it was. I was going to a certain bar in Seaside Heights a lot, and I met my wife. Didn't know she was going to be my wife, but a friend introduced me to my beautiful wife, Beth. Getting to know this beautiful woman after a couple of weeks, meeting her, talking to her, trying to figure out how we could go and date. I knew she worked in an accounting firm, and I knew she hated it. She couldn't stand it. Me being me, said, "What do you want to do with your life?" She looked at me and said, "No, I'm not telling you, because you're going to laugh." And I said, "Well, does it have anything to do with business?" She goes, "Yeah." I'm like, "Well, I ain't going to laugh then, because I don't laugh at business ideas." So she says, "I want to own an ice cream store." And I said, "That's pretty freaking cool." I told her the story of when my parents had a restaurant. I didn't want to work for them. Nobody wants to work for their parents. I don't know, I didn't at least. And I went to work at an ice cream store and I absolutely loved it. And she said to me, "Well, that's why I want to own an ice cream store, because that was one of my first jobs and I absolutely loved it." Terrific. We have a lot in common. Fast forward 3 years, we got married, okay? That's what we did. We got married. And we went to Hawaii. And we had our honeymoon. And on the way back from our honeymoon, I said to my lovely wife, "So, were you kidding about the ice cream store thing, or you really want to do it?" She was like, "No, I really want to do it." I'm like, "Okay, bet." When we got home, I was off and running, because you don't give me a project to do without me doing it. So I looked through LoopNet, I called brokers, we were looking all around in the papers, because back then that's what you did. And you looked online. My wife wanted to own an ice cream store in a place called Long Beach Island. Beautiful place. Absolutely awesome. Problem is, it's only 30 minutes away from our house, but during the summer, that 30-minute drive becomes an hour and a half plus sometimes drive with the summer traffic. It's insane. Parkway in New Jersey, south of, well, actually, anywhere on the Parkway during the summer is a nightmare. So I had said, "Let's not do that." She had said, "I want to do that." Long story short, we went and looked at a bunch of places, good opportunities, but I really wasn't thrilled. Meanwhile, the people that had sold us, the realtors that sold us our brand new house, had said, "Hey, we have some clients that are looking to sell their ice cream store in Lavallette." Lavallette, New Jersey? Great place. Not very far from our house, 15 minutes during the winter, 40 minutes during the summer, but that's much more doable. So we went and looked at it, and it was a piece of poop. The place was a shithole. I'm sorry, but the people that had owned it, I don't know. It was a very famous ice cream store at one point, and then they sold it to these people, and they just, I don't know, they had other businesses going on, and they just didn't take care of it. But opportunity for us. Brought my wife and my father-in-law there, and they were like, "Yeah, we need to bulldoze this place." And I'll put a picture here so you see. It was a shithole, okay? Even though it was a shithole, I actually saw it as a diamond in the rough, because I knew what I could make it into. It took a little bit of convincing for my wife, especially because her dad was really scared for us, but I knew what I could take this place and make it. So the negotiations begun. They wanted to sell it outright. As you can imagine, most people looking to get rid of a business that's not doing too well is looking to sell it outright. I convinced them with my charm that we should lease with the option to own, especially because we never ran an ice cream store, the place was a shithole, so on and so forth. And I sold them on the fact, "Listen, I'm going to totally renovate this place. I'm going to put, probably tens of thousands, if not $100,000 into this place. So let's say we don't work out. You get a brand new place that you can now sell to the next person, and we didn't spend a bazillion dollars on, buying the place and then having to sell it again. And they were like, that sounds like a good option. And that's what we went with. So we signed, I believe it was a 3-year lease with the option to buy, and we're off and running. I went in and totally renovated the place, because you cannot, listen to me, you cannot half-ass a first impression, especially in a food establishment. This is where people get confused. You don't have to go in and spend top dollar and buy everything brand new. No. You can go in very thrifty, that's my middle name. Go in, used equipment, use sweat equity, do your own painting, do your own repairs. Obviously, bring professionals in also, which I did, plumbing, electrical, all that stuff. But you can go and do a place if you do it yourself and you're thrifty and you shop around, which I had done for the bakery. So I used to go to auctions for bakery equipment and all that, so I knew all about that, all right? So I went and bought good used equipment, and I made this place shine, baby. I made it shine. It became this. Hopefully my editor guy, Lucas, love you, put the picture of going from poopy to wonderful, and that's what it was. The thing here was that we weren't only buying the business, we were buying or leasing the building, right? And a little side note here, if you have the ability to buy a building in addition to or where your business is housed, right? Absolutely do it. You should 100% do it. And I'm going to tell you this. I'm going to explain it to you. So let's say you build a business, buy a business, create a business, whatever you do. That's terrific. For the first 3 to 5 years, you're basically buying yourself a job. I'm just being honest with you, okay? There are exceptions. Listen, you can buy a franchise, you can buy an existing business like we did, but it wasn't really operating well. So you're basically creating a job for yourself for 3 to 5 years. And then after working in the business for 3 to 5 years, then you can normally bring a manager in and start transitioning out of the business or working at least less in it so you can build the business, right? So that's terrific for buying a business. Buying the building is probably going to be your biggest asset. Yes, the business itself is a terrific asset. The building is probably what you're going to profit the most at the end of the business's life or when you want to exit. Selling the building is going to be probably your biggest profit in large scale at the end, as opposed to, yes, every year you're going to have cash flow like we did, but buying the building is an absolute necessity, because listen, if you're in a shopping mall, it's hard, although I would look to buy the shopping mall. But any opportunity you have to buy the building along with the business, take it. So that was the deal. For us, we were going to lease purchase the building and business. And to be honest, there was no business. It was just a bunch of equipment and a building. So I saw it as, was the building worth the asking price of the whole package? And it was. So it was in Lavallette, New Jersey, which actually we were in Toms River, New Jersey, but the billing address was Lavallette. So that's all I cared about. It worked out very well for us. So buying the building was, was another lesson that I learned from my dad very young. I can remember, like yesterday, my sister and I were in bed and my parents were arguing, shocker, about, this time it was about the sale of the building. My dad wanted to buy the building that our restaurant was in. The owner was giving my dad the opportunity to buy the building. My mom and dad were screaming because it was $250,000 back then in 78, 79, when they bought it. That's a lot of money. $250,000, $250,000. But my dad was like, Charlie, because that's what he called my mom. My mom's name was Charlotte. We called her Carla, but in his Italian accent, it was Charlie. This is going to be worth a lot of money someday. And he was right. So after all the years of being there, after subdividing it up, after, basically selling off different pieces of it, all said and done, after all the years of my mom owning it, the value was 6 times at the end. She made 6 times her money. And actually, she made more than that, because listen, on a $250,000 loan, you only had to put down back then they probably only put down $25,000. So the amount of money my mom made on the initial investment was probably 10, 20, 30 times 40 times her initial investment. But, you know, the sale of the building, of the property, was 6 times its original sale. You can't go wrong with something like that. So it's just a caveat. I know this is a thing of how I bought our ice cream store, and I'm telling you. But, you know, if you have the opportunity to buy the property along with the business, you go do that, because I did that. So we signed the deal, and I went in like gangbusters. I think we signed the deal in December or January that year. Maybe February. So I worked the whole winter renovating the building. And again, changing it from dirt to shabby chic. Shore shabby chic, I'll say. So, you know, we were proud of how the store came out. And now it is May of 2006. My wife is pregnant with our daughter Brielle. We opened the store in May of 2006. And my daughter was born in August of 2006. So you can only imagine how stressful that summer was. Brand new store, brand new baby, you know, brand new house. We had just purchased our house several months before, so we had a lot going on that summer. So Memorial Day came, we opened up the store to, well, we had opened it up previously, but Memorial weekend came, we had a tremendous weekend, and I knew right then and there that we were buying this building. So the end of the season came. We had the option for another 2 years, but I told the owners we wanted to exercise our option right away. I wanted to get it bought before the next season. We had the whole winter to negotiate with banks and stuff. But remember, we had already operated our first summer. It was a good summer. We thought it was outstanding, but I mean, from what we came from in 2006 to what we finally wound up doing, our numbers in 2021 was, you know, it paled in comparison, but we thought we were doing terrific. And it was good enough numbers to show the bank and say, hey, listen, we know what the heck we're doing here. We operated the ice cream store for the whole summer. They knew I had restaurant experience. They knew I had, you know, obviously I still own the bakery. So they knew I had food experience. So they're like, okay, you know, we'll give you the money. Put up, and again, I think we had to come up with 10% or whatever it was. So it's probably 30, 40 or $50,000 we had come up with. And we closed on the deal. So we had bought the building. And I say building because we really weren't buying a business. We created the business. The place was in shambles, as you could see by the pictures. So we spent 15 years in that location and going through Hurricane Sandy, because Hurricane Sandy came in, and I'll show you the pictures here. Not pretty. 3 feet of water, everything was wrecked. I had to rebuild the store from, again, top to bottom. So now this is the second time I'm rebuilding this store. Luckily, you know, we got SBA loans. They came in. They, you know, they gave us grants. I'm sure you know the Sandy story. It was horrific, but we got up and running for that summer, and that summer was a tremendous summer again. So the store, year after year after year, constantly going up in sales, constantly going up in revenue, and constantly going up in profit. You know, so we were excited. But towards the end of the life of the store for us. You know, I had gotten cancer, and my wife did not want to run the store on her own. And, you know, we didn't know what my situation was. So we made the decision to sell the store. And that'll be a whole nother video. That'll be next week. I'm going to go over how, you know, we basically made the decision finally, how we went through the steps of selling the store, what steps we took. You know, how did we list it? What did we list it? So on and so forth. That'll be on the next video, so make sure you stay tuned. But the store did tremendous for us. So, you know, not only having positive cash flow every single year, you know, the store produced way more than, like, if my wife went and got a job, because she didn't work. Once we got married, my wife didn't work. So if she worked, even at the accounting firm, we made much more in the 6 months that the store would be open, rather than her having to work all year long and, you know, basically just making a salary. The store did way more than that. And the return on the investment was tremendous, because remember, we only put down a small amount of money, right? We were getting cash flow every year. We were getting the depreciation of the equipment and the building. We were getting the pay down of the mortgage. We're paying down the mortgage every month. So we're capturing that. It's like a savings account. So if you think about what our actual return on our initial investment was, gotta be somewhere between 15 and 20 times our initial investment, at least that, plus having the cash flow every year. So, ice cream store did well. This 800 square feet little shit building in the middle of Lavallette, New Jersey did very well for us. We can't complain. And that's the story. That's how we went from, my wife's dream of buying it to, our next chapter of selling it. And, now here we are. Here I am talking to you. And, if anything, I want to express to you that, buying a business, building a business, I used to tell people, you're insane if you buy a business. But I don't believe that anymore. A good friend of mine, a dear friend of mine, just called me up and said that her husband is getting laid off. And this is a tremendously smart guy, in a tremendously smart industry. And to know that his company got bought out and he has a package and he's older than I am, that's concerning. That's the downfall of working for someone. The downfall of buying a business and being in business is that you have to struggle every day. But the caveat is you control that destiny. If you want to work hard and make it successful, you can do that, right? And if you, like us, work 15 years, and the last 5 years of that ice cream store, to be honest, we were barely there. My wife would go in to make cakes and do some of the apples and that stuff, but we had managers that during the night we weren't there anymore, because that's how we got it to be. The first 5 years we were there constantly. Literally, I was there morning, noon, and night, along with running the bakery. So yeah, it's stressful to own your own business. But as I've sold the businesses, I don't regret selling them. I think I did the smart thing. But my opinion has changed. For my kids, for anybody that asks advice, I would go into a business. I would do it cautiously. I would do it smart, and that's why I'm making all these videos. Because if you're going to do it, I want you to do it smartly. I want you to pick a great business. Listen, ice cream store was a great business. Wholesale bakery, again, I had a great living from it, but it was a lot. It was a lot. So I would not do that again. Would I own another ice cream store? I'm done with brick and mortar because, again, I don't know if we're staying in New Jersey, but regardless, I'm finished with brick and mortar. As I've told you several times, I'm much more interested in online. I wish I would have started an online business years ago. But listen, it's never too late, right? So this is what I'm doing. But the point of the fact I'm making is that having your own business, going in, either buying a franchise, starting it from scratch, I believe in it. It's hard work, but it gives you the ability to know your future, right? And listen, many people go out of business. So what's the difference of going out of business as opposed to getting laid off or fired? I can't really give you that except for the fact that you really have no control over being laid off or fired. If your business is not doing well, there's reasons for that. Most of them are you. And you can always fix that. You can always bring in people to help you build it. You can always get mentors, or another video I'm going to be doing is on masterminds. You can join a mastermind and have like-minded people help you, and you can help them. That being said, again, I'm starting a mastermind. It's going to be here in the office. To be determined on dates and information, so stay tuned. I'm going to do a whole video on that. So that's it, my friends. That's how we wound up buying our ice cream store and the business that we created over 15 years. And I am thrilled the fact of how that pattern went. Some days, I might have made this video 5-10 years ago, and I'd be like,
I can't do it. I don't know why I'm doing this anymore.
To be honest with you, those are the kind of days you have being in business. But at the end, I can clearly sit here and tell you, in both businesses, great experience, awesome opportunity, terrific return on investment. And again, so we worked hard at them, okay? So, hope you enjoyed this. Stay tuned for next week's video. Again, it will be how we sold the ice cream store, and we'll see you soon.
I can't get free ice cream anymore. That sucks. But I'm happy we sold.